Weather is the day-to-day mood of our atmosphere, the ever-changing conditions we experience from moment to moment. It's what dictates whether we reach for an umbrella, put on a sweater, or bask in the warmth of the sun. Sunshine, rain, the gentle breeze, or the raging storm. These are all elements of weather. It could be a chilly morning where frost glistens on the grass, or a hot afternoon where the sun beats down with relentless intensity. Weather encompasses these temperature extremes and everything in between. It changes quickly, sometimes dramatically, and is often unpredictable, keeping us on our toes as we try to plan our days. But climate is different. Climate is the long-term pattern, the consistent behavior of the atmosphere over extended periods. It's the average of weather over decades, a comprehensive picture painted by years of accumulated data and observations. It's the reason we expect snow in the Arctic year after year, a predictable characteristic of that region's climate. And it's why we anticipate intense heat in the Sahara, a climate defined by scorching temperatures and arid conditions. Climate is the steady rhythm, the underlying pulse that governs our planet's natural cycles and seasonal patterns. It's the force that has shaped life on Earth for millennia, influencing the evolution of species and the distribution of ecosystems. When we talk about climate change, we're not just talking about a few unusual weather events, we mean a shift in this long-term pattern, a fundamental alteration of the climate system that has been relatively stable for centuries. It's a persistent global warming trend driven by human activities that's causing temperatures to rise across the planet. And it's altering the rules of life, forcing ecosystems to adapt, and threatening the survival of countless species. The Earth is developing a gentle but persistent fever, a gradual increase in global temperatures that has far-reaching consequences. This isn't a passing change. It's not a temporary fluctuation that will soon correct itself. It's a deep, systemic shift in the planet's character, a transformation of the Earth's fundamental operating system. While weather keeps dancing daily, providing us with constant variations and surprises, climate is now on a new, concerning path, deviating from its historical norms and heading towards uncharted territory. The reliable patterns that life depends on, the predictable rhythms of the seasons and the delicate balance of ecosystems are becoming less certain, more erratic, and increasingly vulnerable to disruption. Understanding this difference between weather and climate, and recognizing the profound implications of climate change, is the first step to facing the challenge ahead, to mitigating the impacts of climate change, and building a more sustainable future for all. For millions of years stretching back into the distant past, Earth's climate was delicately balanced by a natural greenhouse effect. This system, honed over millennia, ensured a stable and habitable environment. It was a thin blanket of gases, carefully calibrated, trapping just enough heat from the sun for life to thrive and flourish in all its diverse forms. But in the last 2 centuries, a mere blink of an eye in geological time, human activity, driven by unprecedented industrial growth, has thickened this protective blanket unnaturally fast, at an alarming rate. The primary culprit? Burning fossil fuels, coal, oil, and natural gas, and the widespread clearing of forests, which act as vital carbon sinks, releases huge amounts of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, trapping more and more heat and disrupting the natural balance. Our modern world, with its sprawling cities and complex infrastructure, built on coal, oil, and gas, is now undeniably the main driver of this rapid and accelerating warming trend, pushing the planet towards uncharted territory. The evidence, gathered through decades of rigorous scientific research, is overwhelmingly clear. The recent and unprecedented surge in global temperatures is directly and unequivocally linked to human actions and industrial emissions. In essence, we're turning up the planet's thermostat at an alarming rate, disrupting a delicate balance that took eons upon eons to form and refine, a balance essential for life as we know it. The fingerprint of humanity, etched into the very fabric of our planet, is unmistakable and undeniable in today's rapidly changing climate, a stark reminder of our impact on the world around us. The thickening blanket of greenhouse gases is raising global temperatures. This extra heat supercharges weather systems, making heat waves, storms, and droughts more extreme and unpredictable. Melting ice sheets in Greenland and Antarctica, and retreating glaciers worldwide, are raising sea levels. Coastal communities and entire nations face the threat of flooding and loss of land. These changes aren't distant. They're happening now, reshaping our world. The systems that govern our planet, weather, oceans, and temperature, are being altered at an accelerating pace. The world our grandparents knew is already gone. We're entering an unfamiliar and uncertain era. Climate change sends shockwaves through every ecosystem. Animals and plants finely tuned to their environments are struggling to adapt as conditions shift too quickly. Polar bears lose hunting grounds as Arctic ice vanishes. Coral reefs bleach and die as oceans warm and acidify. The collapse of reefs threatens marine life and millions of people who depend on them. On land, disrupted seasons confuse plants and animals. Flowers bloom too early, birds arrive too late. These mismatches unravel food chains and threaten species survival. The web of life woven over millions of years is fraying. Our actions are driving this rapid unraveling. Climate change is a global challenge, a defining issue of our time. Its impacts are far-reaching and affect every corner of the world, from the most developed nations to the most vulnerable communities. No one is immune. The consequences of a changing climate touch us all, regardless of our background, location, or economic status. We are all interconnected in this shared experience. The air we breathe, the water we drink, and the food we eat, these are the very foundations of our health and well-being. All depend on a stable climate. A disruption to this balance threatens not only our survival but also the delicate ecosystems that support all life on Earth. While governments and industries must act, taking decisive steps to reduce emissions and transition to sustainable practices, our daily choices matter too. Every action, no matter how small, contributes to the larger picture. Saving energy by using energy-efficient appliances and reducing our overall consumption, choosing sustainable transport, such as cycling, walking, or using public transportation, and reducing waste through recycling, composting, and mindful consumption, all add up, creating a significant impact when practiced collectively. Eating less meat and embracing plant-based options, and buying local food, supports sustainable agriculture and reduces transportation emissions. These conscious choices can lower our carbon footprint, helping to mitigate the effects of climate change. By protecting forests, vital carbon sinks that absorb CO2 from the atmosphere, switching to clean energy like solar and wind power, and consuming thoughtfully, choosing products with minimal environmental impact, we can help restore balance to our planet's ecosystems. This is our only home, a precious and fragile planet that we must cherish and protect. And we have the knowledge to heal it, the innovative technologies and scientific understanding needed to address this challenge. We must see ourselves as part of nature, interconnected with all living things, not apart from it. Recognizing this fundamental connection is key to creating a sustainable future. The future isn't written yet. We have the power to shape the world our children and grandchildren will inherit. If we act together with a shared sense of purpose and a commitment to sustainability, we can secure a thriving planet for generations to come, a world where both humanity and nature can